Here's talking about this Super Bowl, and we run into this all the time. Linda, do you say Super Bowl in your news stories?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. See, I've run into people in small markets that are. Here's talking about this Super Bowl, and we run into this all the time. Linda, do you say Super Bowl in your news stories?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, see, I've run into people in small markets that are so afraid of the trademark infringement that even the news people won't say it in the story. They'll say the big game.
And they also say harassment, which drives me nuts.
Oh, God, yeah. It's nutty because they don't want to say ass.
Right.
That's the whole deal. I don't want to say ass. So they won't say harassment. Right. Also, they won't say grass either because it's, this is ass.
They won't say the planet Uranus either.
Isn't that great? I love saying that, too.
It always makes you stop and laugh for a second.
The Super Bowl trademark is held by what has got to be the country's most oppressive company, the NFL. Joining me right now from Top Floor Legal is my guy Pasha. Go to askpasha.com for your corporate legal questions. And hey, Pasha.
Hey, Merrill.
Hey, man, we're talking about the Super Bowl stuff, and I had a few questions for you regarding this trademark deal. I know that we can't use the trademark, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can't use the trademark if we're trying to promote an item or market something, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion on this issue, and you nailed on the head regarding news reporters. I've heard the same thing, them using the big game.
Yeah.
What's interesting is in 2007, the NFL actually tried to trademark the big game.
Is that right?
Yeah, they actually got some PR criticism for it, so they ended up withdrawing that petition.
Could I still go out and trademark the big game?
You'd have some difficulty. I think one of the issues, too, there was some other competing issues regarding that.
Like there are other big games?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, all right. See, I feel like I could probably make some T-shirts. Like every time somebody wants to talk about the NCAA championship or whatever. So the Super Bowl thing, the Super Bowl trademark is similar to the March Madness trademark, right?
Yeah, March Madness, the Olympics, NASCAR, American Idol, all these terms. Now, we're using it now, obviously. We're using an exception called fair use, and that allows us to talk about it in news reports or if we're just describing it just for an informative basis.
So, okay, because I know this is what I love about the law, is that the law always draws a very ambiguous line, which keeps lawyers employed, right?
That's right.
Okay, so what if, say, we do a news report that's a sponsored news report? And so let's say that Linda comes on and she says, this Super Bowl update is brought to you by Widget Company for all of your widget needs. Could she say, I mean, because now we're talking about the Super Bowl update, but it's a sponsored update. So where's that? Is that using it for marketing or is that using it for fair use?
Well, first, knowing the NFL, they'll probably call you within 5 minutes of airing. They are aggressive in defending their market. You know, some say overly aggressive, but yeah. So when there's a likelihood of confusion of whether or not the service that you're providing is endorsed or goods is endorsed by the NFL or Super Bowl, that's where the line is drawn. So you can't say, you know, Kogo's NFL station or Super Bowl station, but
right.
You could say, you know, that we're using it right now, the fair use.
Right. Okay. Unless, of course, for instance, and Kogo doesn't have the rights to the Super Bowl, I don't think.
No.
Okay. So, I mean, unless, of course, we work with the NFL and we're going to carry the Super Bowl, and then we would have that as part of the contract or whatever else to be able to say your official Super Bowl station, right?
Yeah. You know, these sponsors pay millions of dollars to get that.
Yeah, they do. Like Pepsi and Doritos always seem to have a Bud. Oh, and Bud Light too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere. Okay, what about? And I saw a story on ESPN that talked about the Harbowl.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so there's this dude tried to trademark Harbowl, and it turned into a mess. He actually tried to trademark that last year, thinking, "Oh my goodness, what if the Harbaugh brothers end up facing each other?" And then the NFL, like you said, they respond very quickly. They kind of came down on him.
Yeah, he registered last year. Obviously, it didn't turn out well for him because they didn't make the Super Bowl, but this year they did. And so what happened is the NFL came up hard on him, and even though he may have had some legal rights, he withdrew because he just could not afford the legal battle.
Ah, the material means to be able to stand your ground.
Yeah, and that's key here. You know, by the way, trademarks are not just for big business. Imagine, you know, spending tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars on a brand. You got to be able to defend it, though, once you register that trademark. Otherwise, it's not that useful.
So I could infringe on somebody. Let's say PJ trademarks PJ's Fishing, and I could start saying PJ's Fishing, and he really has to he has to send me a cease and desist, and I might keep using it. He'd have to take me to court, and I could actually break him before he could win that case.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a pretty good description. And that's why trademarks are for commercial use, and so it's usually most.
And I just put those up in the neighborhood. Hey, Super Bowl party this Sunday. Everyone in the neighborhood invited. I'm okay there, right?
Yeah, you're walking a fine line. There's always exceptions, even for broadcasting at your home and so forth for personal use. But like, for example, if it's a commercial or a sports bar, for example, that's where you're going to have some problems. Or if you're charging admission to your home, for example.
Oh, God dang, this gets really... Now, they're probably not going to come after us if we got 10 or 15 guests, but if we're throwing a party for 300 or 400, then we've got a problem, right?
Well, again, it comes down to the details. If it's a kind of a personal party, I mean, the copyright law, you're talking about broadcasting now, there's copyright and trademark. It gets really detailed. If you're a commercial establishment, even defines how big your TV can be, how many people are there. It gets kind of nuanced.
Okay, Pasha, tell me on Monday morning, can I talk about the Super Bowl? Because there's the disclaimer that they always read has to do with rebroadcast and descriptions of these events is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of the NFL and the national and the 49ers and the Ravens and whoever the broadcast company is.
Yeah, again, I'm going to refer back to the fair use. You can always report if it's on an informative basis. You're reporting the news. You're into the exception.
Oh, okay.
But by the way, I'm not giving you legal advice. Refer to Clear Channel's legal counsel on that one.
That's your own disclaimer, right?
Yeah, that's my own disclaimer.
All right. If you do want sound legal advice from Pasha, go to askpasha.com and find out more about it. Pasha, of course, with Top Floor Legal. And Pasha, I appreciate you kind of straightening that out for us, bud.